Starting to rain up here. We're supposed to
Yeah,
get like an inch and a half today.
yeah, we're supposed to get before the end of the day tomorrow, an inch and a half as well,
Yeah.
which is good and bad. It's good because we need it. It's bad because the grass in my field is about 3 feet tall.
It'll be heavy.
Uh-oh. So we have the first big fire in California.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Yeah, the area around Tracy
Oh really?
shut down the interstate.
Wow.
We've got one west of us, about 60 acres.
What, Jill? What caused your local fire there? Is it
Uh,
known?
Under investigation.
Under investigation.
So
I
I
blame it. I blame it on Trump.
I would read, yeah, I would read that there's uncertainty of, well, I mean, these days it could be anything. It could be power lines, it could be, because
Yeah.
we've been having exceptionally windy days. So
Well, that will do
a
it.
little spark.
Jill, I was thinking about the question that you asked, and I think I misinterpreted what you were asking, perhaps. I think what you were asking about is the principle Shuling Dingjing Qi Chendanqian, which is essentially saying when when something comes up, for instance, to the top of your head, that's Qi Chen Shuling Dingjing.
Mhm.
You better have something else going down at the same time. So what they're really talking about is very simple. It's stretching and then relaxing, and stretching or expanding and then contracting, expanding, contracting. And those always go together. I think that's what you were actually asking about, yes?
Yeah, I guess that was the principle underlying it, but it's the substance of what is being stretched up. Then I guess I would assume contains chi and spirit and
The correct answer to what is being stretched is you. You are being stretched.
the substance of me.
Well, it actually does help to imagine those because it's kind of true. What's heavy goes down and what's light comes up.
Mhm.
And you can prove that to yourself by doing just the opposite. You can raise your chi and lower your spirit and see what happens. And you will notice, at least I don't know, I notice, huh? If you raise your chi, you're gonna feel ungrounded and top heavy. If you lower your spirit, you're gonna feel weak and confused. Right? If you do it just the opposite, it works fine. If you do it the wrong way around, it doesn't work very well. What happens with most people when they begin is they just have no awareness of any of this at all. It's just they've never thought about it. It's never come to their attention. Um, Watch next time you're watching the Olympic equestrian events. Watch the different riders. Almost all of them, really, without exception, have a really good seat. All right. What does it mean to have a good seat? Well, it means you're one with the horse. All right. You're really on the horse. But practically speaking, what it means is your chi's going down and your spirit's coming up. They're not like this. They're not sitting in the saddle like this. All right.
Oh,
They're not like this. They're not all over the place. All right. They're just relaxed in the saddle. They're upright. Their spirit's going up and their chi's going down. Right into the horse itself. It's a
yeah,
perfect
I
example.
yeah, I just had the pleasure of watching the Preakness with my sister,
Uh
who
huh.
is very knowledgeable. She is very serious in the horseback riding arena. And so it was like suddenly a whole world opening up of what we were actually witnessing. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and it's definitely the relationship between the rider and the horse. And yeah, I mean, it's a thing of beauty.
It absolutely is. Oh, Catherine's here. Okay, remember, stop talking because Catherine's here.
Oh,
We can't let her know the big secret that we just revealed. Catherine, how are you?
I'm good. I just had a problem with my back. It's why I'm late, but I'm good.
Oh, you have a problem with your back?
Bike, my
Oh, your
bike.
bike. Okay. Is it raining there?
No, not today.
It's raining here. It just started raining. It's supposed to rain all day and all night. So Catherine, we were just talking about the principle Shuling Dingjin Qi Chen Danqian, which means to raise your spirit and to lower your qi. And we were talking about it in terms of other sports. So, for instance, the Olympic equestrians. You watch really good baseball players when they're up to bat. Watch really good basketball players when they jump. It's they intuitively understand these principles. They're not weird Taoist principles. They're just principles of motion. What the Taoists did, what the Tai Chi players did, was really study them for centuries, and really try to develop uh, some verbal and conceptual language that will allow you to pay attention to these things. Okay, so let's start by I'll repeat what I said in the last class, which is, all right, when you step out, all right, join your fists together and drill down. To make that drilling down work, you have to lower your chi. The language for that is Qi Chun Dan Qian. Chun means to lower. Qi, lower, Dan Qian. Qi goes into the Dan Qian. But if you're going to do that, there must be an equal and opposite energy going upward. If you don't do that inside, this won't work as a martial application. And I don't have Annie here, but what I demonstrated, Catherine, was, all right, imagine Annie's got my hands here, right? And I drill down, but I also lower my head. That makes this movement very weak. It also now exposes, now I'm leaning forward, it exposes me. All she's got to do is put her hand behind my shoulder or my neck and just push forward. And I'm going to fall over. Boom. All right. So instead, what you do is keep your pelvis more or less horizontal with the ground. So the pelvis is not leaning. The pelvis is just going down. All right? And everything is going down like a big screw. And while your chi and your physical body are going down, your mind and your spiritual body are going up. That upward flowing motion gives your downward flowing motion strength. So, Jill, in terms of what we were just talking about, it's stretching inside. You're stretching. Stretch. Stretch. All right, hold on a second. Bungee cord, right? Stretch, relax. Stretch, relax. Stretch, relax. That's a power. That's one of the basic ways that we move as human beings. So you pay attention to that. Stretch, relax. Stretch, relax. Stretch, relax. When you stretch like that, it makes it very difficult to push you over. As you can imagine, all right? So, Jill, I'm just going to hold this very loosely here, all right? I want you to come up through the TV and just push this. Right? You're just going to push it. Of course, it's just going to move. It's just going to flop around. There's no strength in it. Now I'm going to stretch it. Now push it. One, it will be very difficult to push it. Let me see if I can do this with my foot. All right? It's going to be very difficult to push it because it has so much strength in it, right? The second thing is, once you push it, it can snap back. All right? That's a real basic Tai Chi principle. In a sense, when you punch someone, you're not really punching them. What you're doing is just snapping back. They push you. You retreat and you stretch. Now, you snap back. All right? You snap back and you focus the snap back into your fist. All right? It's very simple. So in a lot of ways, you're not punching them, they're punching them. They're punching themselves, using you kind of as a mirror. Jill, does that make sense? That's why in Tai Chi you never swing the first blow. You let the other guy do the first blow. Right? And then you catch it and return it. Catherine, does that make sense? Good. All right, let's go on with the rest of move 3, which is called lazily tying the coat. And as with all the moves in this form, the name of the move is just from one little tiny part of the move. Usually it's the last thing in the move, but not always. And in this case, it's not always. It's not the last thing. It's kind of in the middle. All right? Yesterday, we did the beginning part of this. Step out, swing forward, join your hands, drill down, under the dantian, over the dantian, push, and snap back, bringing your toes with you. So I'm talking about all the little details in here, but just remember, when you actually do this, it's going to be much softer than that. Right? So it might look something like this. But it's all in my head. Even though I don't actually physically do those things, I do touch base with each of them. And when you've done this 10,000 times, the touching base with them can be, it's very gentle. It's just boop, 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 boop. Right? Boom, 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 boom. If you've ever been around somebody who is a really good craftsperson, maybe a really good chef, maybe a really good bookmaker, all right? Anything like that, you may watch them. Maybe you're just a beginner. And when you're a beginner and you have to do something, you're going to do it very deliberately. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I have to cut the carrots one by one. When you're with someone who's really advanced and is really comfortable with all that, they make it look so easy. It's just, brrr, brrr. They're making a book. They do stuff very naturally, and yet it all comes out beautifully. Right? It's the same idea. You guys are in the stage of learning, so you got to be very deliberate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you get really good at this, it's all going to blend together. Okay, let's go on to the next little piece. The next little piece is a devastating joint lock. I am not going to demonstrate it because it's too dangerous. But what you are doing is moving your weight to the left and then moving your weight back to the right. Right? It's very simple. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. So what you're doing is you're rotating your dantian like this. You're rotating the dantian. The first part of this, you're following the dantian underneath. The second part, you're following the dantian up above. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Kevin, did I ever do this joint lock on you?
Yeah.
How was it?
Once again, I hit the ground.
It's a very, very dangerous joint lock. It's so easy to break someone's wrist doing this. Even if you know what you're doing, it's easy. So I don't do it on people. You have to develop a feeling for it, and I sort of have the feeling for it, but I prefer not to break anybody's wrist. All right. 1, 2. Now I want you to watch this right here. Watch. Watch this. That's the actual lock. This is positioning. This is the lock. And what you've done is someone's got hold of your arm. You twist around, so now you have hold of their arm, and you've got them between your hands here, and you just sink. And if you're serious about it, you will break their arm. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Now the reason I'm calling the third part out is what I want you to do in this is not think about breaking somebody's arm, but sinking your chi. If you just do this and you don't sink your chi, so-so. That's kind of just the outside. I want you to get the inside. Now, Jill, when I do that, what am I doing? The reason I'm asking you is we've been talking about this all morning.
While you're sinking your chi and you're breaking somebody's arm while you're doing it.
Yes, but what's happening on my inside?
It's stretching. It's basically
Yes,
straight up and chi.
yes. Watch the top of my head. It doesn't go down. In fact, it goes up a little bit. Stretch. Now, what you're stretching is heavy down here and light up there. But if you do this, it won't work. It won't work because this is what you're doing. Right? You're going around and then you're lowering your chi, but you're also lowering your head. So now it's just a mess. It's just a tangled up mess. Right? Instead, you got to come around and then stretch. And the more you stretch inside, the stronger the application will be. Stretch. This is happening inside, so I'm trying to exaggerate it a little bit on the outside so you can see. But your chi goes all the way down to the bottom of your foot. Your spirit goes all the way up to the top of your head. Boom. That's what makes the that's what makes the vice work. All right? Jill, reach your finger in between there. All right? That's right. Reach your finger in there. This won't hurt me a bit. All right? You stretch it open and then you close it. You stretch it open and then you close it. Okay, that's the first 2 parts. 1, 2. Here's the third part, right? Somebody's trying to poke at you. So you're going to retreat a little bit. They're poking at you. So just get out of their way. As you get out of their way, block their poke. with this hand here. They're poking at you. Get out of the way and block. When you do that, it's the same as screwing, as winding up. And then you're going to hit them with the other hand. Watch. All right? They poke at you, wind up, block, hit. Wind up, hit. Wind up, hit. Wind up, hit. It's not your arms doing this. It's your trunk. Wind up, hit. Wind up, hit. Wind up, hit. Wind up, hit. All right? That's the third part. So we're about halfway through the move right now. Let's go through it again, because all this depends on your weight shift. So let's go through it and call out the weight shifts. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. All right? It's just like a metronome, back and forth, back and forth. The movement starts in the feet. Right, left, right, left, right, left, and right. I've got a great, I'll see if I can find it for next week. I've got a great picture of Master Fung in 2001 at our workshop at down in Santa Cruz, exactly in that position, in that move. All right. And even though he's probably about 73, he's probably about my age when he was doing that. Man, he looks strong, really strong. Okay, one more, and then we're going to go on to the fourth part. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So this fourth part can be a lot of things. A simple way to think about it is it's an elbow strike. So you've blocked and hit, right? Now some guy's attacking you from behind. His evil twin brother is coming from behind, right? He might even push you in the shoulder. When he pushes you in the shoulder from behind, you're going to go like this. So what you learn in Tai Chi is when someone sneaks up on you and pushes like that, use it. All right? Instead of just letting yourself fall forward, right? When someone pushes you here, use it to wind up. So he's pushing me here, I can just wind up, and I can even go down a little bit. Why do you want to go down? So you can come back up, right? There's a guy right behind me. He pushes me. Right? I just gave him my elbow into his jaw. Right? But again, you're not really doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it to himself. He winds you up. You just come back. The only thing is you raise your elbow when you do it. Right? Now, what is the other arm doing? As with many, many of these moves, you're using the left arm as a counterweight. So I'm going to do it again slowly, and I'm going to do it a little bit more like the old-fashioned way that Master Fung used to do it. Watch this hand. exactly what he was doing. Right? There's not even anybody over there. So why is he doing that? He's doing that to stretch. So we might do a light version of that. And then we're going to go straight on to move number 5. Not right in the middle, just to the left. Okay, move number 5. Has a lot of different moving parts. The first part is a reverse chinna. Kevin, I know I've done that one to you, haven't I? You get somebody by the hand, you come right above their wrist. Watch here. Watch this. What makes it happen is this hip joint. The arms and hands in a certain way are kind of passive. They're just carrying the energy of this hip joint. Watch these two. The ball of the Dan Chen is turning from here to here. It's that, and which is right where the hip joint is. It's turning into the hip joint, sliding into it. That's exactly the same as this bench vise. All right? The two jaws are closing. Now, some other guy's coming at you like this. You come up and you stick this point in between his hands. Now, they're probably not going to physically fit in between his hands, but you stick them, mentally and energetically between his hands. And then you stick your arms in between his hands. And you're going to have to lead probably with the top of the wrist. But that's just the way it looks on the outside. What you're really leading with is first this, then your shoulders, then your elbows, and only after all that, your hands. So it's almost exactly the opposite of the way someone might do this naively. Someone comes up and grabs you by the neck, you're probably going to take your hands and try and do something. But your hands have no leverage. What has leverage is closer to the fulcrum. Right? So you stick your center line into his center line, and then you open like this. You don't want to be in too close. You don't want to be out too far. You just want to be nice and big. Once you've got his hands, got his upper body opened, then you bring your knee up into his chest or his face or whatever. If you can wrap your arms around his arms, then you can use some of your own weight to pull him down. So he's attacking you like this. You surround him and pull him down a little bit. And then you bring that knee up into his nose. The next move after that is a forward chin-a. We started with a reverse chin-a. Now we're going to do a forward chin-a. Reverse, forward. That's the only difference. All right. 1, 2, 3. Now I want you to watch my foot. 1, 2, 3. I couldn't see whether you guys were doing that or not, but a lot of people do it. What a lot of people do is this. Bude. Right? You want to come down and scooch out, which is another way of saying you want to bring your danchen down and then out. You don't want to turn your danchen over. You want to turn it under. 1, 2, turn it under and close. All right? You turn it under and then you close it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The next move, I forget what we're up to, like 6 or something, right? The next move is an elbow to somebody's jaw, or maybe their chest. Weight shift, waist turn, that moves the elbow. And then you can add just a little bit of juice into the elbow itself. All right. You start to shift your weight and turn your waist, and as you do that, your arm goes the opposite direction. And then it rushes to catch up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the final move is another forward chin-a. This is a long chin-a. This one's a short chin-a, but they're both chin-a. This is some guy's elbow here. you're going to turn your dantian under into this hip. Right? Now these two are coming together. To do this, you're going to turn your dantian this way. And then you're going to clamp it down. 1, 2. All right? Watch what happens with his arm. 1, 2. All right? 1, 2. All right? 1, 2. Make sense, Kevin? So when you're doing this in practice, what you should be practicing is this stuff, all right? The outer stuff is fine, but it's just something to do. It's just a way of getting at this inner stuff, right? I should have this here too. When you do a move like this, there are two things that make it work. One is your control over your energy body. If you don't know any of this stuff and you haven't practiced it and you can't do it, well, then you won't be able to do it. All right? But if you have practiced it, all right, it will come rather naturally. The second thing that makes this work is your weight. All right? Here's this poor guy, all right? You've got him locked up. Now just lean on him. And in a certain way, you're relaxing. It's a very elastic kind of relaxing, but you're kind of relaxing into him. You remember, Kevin?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the hands on your wrist and arm. There's no. Well, I imagine if I tried to get away, there'd be a lot of gripping. But it's all of a sudden the weight hits and you don't know where it's coming from, and then you're on the. When I say I fall on the floor, it's because you drop out of the pain, and that you try to relieve the pressure on your joint, and I can't do the fancy spinning circles to get out of it, so I just fall on the floor.
That's a good way to explain it. You know, Master Zhang, when I first started with him, he would demonstrate these things on you because that's the way they do it in China. You actually got to ask for it, all right? And he would look at you basically and ask in Chinese, "Do you want me to really do it?" And somebody would translate it, and you'd go, "Yeah," and he'd go, "All right," and he would really do it, and you'd be on the ground. And it's only after he had done that to you 20 or 30 times that you began to understand what was really going on. All right, let's take 2 minutes here and do the whole move. It's just a nice short little move. Let me do it with my back to you. All right, questions? Jill, you got it all?
Looks like I'm gonna do some practicing this week.
Good. Get yourself some tape. Tape and a mirror, it will help. All right, guys. Oh, I was going to say one thing since a couple of folks from the advanced Qigong class are here. Catherine, I was thinking about your comment about doing the two exercises at the beginning. The one exercise where you start and the other exercise where you do the face massage. If you don't want to do those, that's okay. Don't do them. Just go straight into the Huinyan Qigong itself. That'll get you a lot more time. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day. We'll see some of you at least tomorrow morning. Ciao.